Okay guys, well thank you for coming to the Tuesday night training. I really appreciate and I respect actually showing up, okay? Because guess how many people who are really successful don't show up? Zero! Alright? If you want to be a millionaire, okay, guess what? You work, you show up, you actually plug in, you dedicate yourself to learning. And that's what this is about, guys. It's about, I'm here to help you grow your business and grow yourself as a person. That's what this is about. This is not about some chore or something. And if you know, plugging in is a chore, you're not going to go anywhere. All right? You're floundering around for a real long time until you realize that this is a job. And it's a lifestyle job. It's not like a 9-to-5 job. Doing this business is a lifestyle. And that's one of the biggest things you got to realize is you incorporate this into who you are and what you do all the time. You're always talking about the water. You can talk about a lot of things, but you need to learn how to always set that out there, okay? That you're part of this business and that you're using this as the vehicle to build your dreams, to achieve your goals, and to reach your vision, okay? This may or may not be the only vehicle that you use, alright? But you have chosen it as a vehicle, and it is a very viable vehicle. It does work, and it can get you there very, very fast if you want to plug in. So that being said, to start off, like I do, and I'm going to start doing this with all of these trainings, before I get anything, is to remind you of your vision, alright? Now, just to define what that is, your vision is not being 6A. It's not even being 6A 24/7. If that's your vision, you'll never go anywhere. Your vision has to be a combination of your highest achievements and your dreams and the things that you want to achieve and your lifestyle, the things that you want to do, the places you want to go, the things you want to see, the people you want to meet, you know, the legacy you want to leave behind. Make sense? That's vision. And let me just say that one more time, in case you weren't clear on what a vision is. A vision is the accomplishment of your goals, the lifestyle you want to live, the places you want to go, the people you want to meet. It's the things you want to accomplish, the legacy you want to leave behind, okay? The amount of good you want to do, the amount of people you want to impact in your world. For each and every single person, it's going to be a little bit different. Not everybody wants to save 4 billion people and feed 4 billion people and make every person on the planet, you know, some people's vision might be that they just want to have a nice life with a wife and a family, or a husband and a family, a dog and a white picket fence, and live in Lavington, BC, and have a farm. Okay, great vision, nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I mean? Every single person's different based on whatever your upbringing and your circumstances in life and your experiences are. But I would encourage you to think really, really big. Okay, because you can move a lot of people in a positive direction if you have a powerful vision. Make sense? So that's your vision. I want you guys to really get clear on that before you do anything, because if you don't have clarity on your vision, if you aren't crystal clear, you don't have to be 100%. Okay? Because I don't think anybody ever is. Because on the path of getting to where you thought you wanted to go, you're going to learn new things. Because all you do is you know of what your vision is. You know of the things that you want to accomplish, but you haven't done it yet. So guess what you're going to learn and who you're going to become on that path? A completely different person. Who you are now is not the person who you will be when you're accomplishing and achieving your vision and your goals and your dreams. Right? You're in the process now of growing and developing and changing into a completely different person, a better version of you, the best you. Right? Right now, I'm not the best me, you're not the best you. That happens over the course of your life. You become refined and you keep learning, and it never ends. You never be the best. You can't. Because it's like infinite how good you can be, how much you can accomplish. But you got to realize that you always got to be changing. Okay? So, part of your vision, if you look back 6 months into your life, 6 months ago, okay? Are you doing the same thing now that you were were doing 6 months ago? Do you have the same people in your life that you did 6 months ago? Now, some people might say yes. Some people might say no. If you're saying yes, then you haven't grown in 6 months. You haven't, right? I am not the same now that I was yesterday. I'm not the same that I was 6 months ago. I'm definitely not the same guy. I mean, oh my gosh, guys. I was like a party captain, you know, nutball when I was 24, 25 years old. I'm now in my 30s, totally different guy, right? I hope you don't stay the same. You should always be changing. So that's how you can monitor and keep track if you're actually making progress in your life or if something's hung you up. Okay, sometimes that can happen. And again, I went over this last week about the, you know, the different things in our lives that can really hang us up. Addictions, right? Negative people or a bad relationship, or a victim of circumstance. So those are things that are going to hold. I call them snares of the devil. You got a little loop, you got a lasso around your ankle. Okay, you got a leash on it. It's a collar. It's holding you back. You can't be free if you got these things holding you down in your life, and you'll never, ever get your vision. You'll have a hard enough time just reaching a simple goal, like showing up to a Tuesday training. Right? Now, every single person who's tuning in here actually wants success, okay? And it's really ironic, the 80-20 rule, okay? 80% of the people will never achieve their vision or their goals or their dreams. 80%. It's a huge number. That's 80% of the people that you know, that you talk to, and that you've had relationships or friendships with will never actually aspire to anything that they once dreamt themselves to do or be, because they have a hankering on one of these three little voluptuous sexies: addictions, negative people or relationships, or they want to be a victim of circumstance, right? So those are the three reasons that hold us back from achieving our vision, and it's very important to be clear on that. And I talk a lot about this. This isn't some rah-rah motivational stuff. This is actually, take a look at your life, be really open and honest with yourself. Are you partying too much? Are you smoking too much pot? Are you drinking too much? Spend too much time chasing skirts or chasing guys, whatever, if they're on with a girl that was on the line. It goes both ways, okay? You know? So guys, I could have said something funnier, but you know, I want to keep it PG. I want to keep it PG, right? So, but these are the things, guys, and like I'm going to give you guys a great example. I used this as an example last week. I've got a guy named Travis who's on my team. Okay, Travis showed up to my Tuesday trainings every day for almost, well, maybe about a year. About a year. Something, a long time.
Longer than a year.
Yeah, longer than a year, okay? Longer than a year. And he wasn't progressing. He was not progressing. It was like he was digging his heels in life, and something was really holding Travis back, right? But then what we did was, you know, we went through which one of those three things was in his life. And he got rid of the issue in his life. It was, you know, something you don't even realize. I'm telling you guys right now, I just had to lose a negative person in my life that I thought was a positive person, but ended up that it was taking up a lot of my mental focus, right? And so what happened was, as soon as I cut this person who was taking a lot of my, it wasn't even a girlfriend, it was just a friend, but they were consuming a lot of my headspace with negativity. I had to get rid of that, and all of a sudden, boom, it was like a slingshot. All of a sudden, the gateways, it seems like the gateways of abundance and joy and prosperity just started, and the universe was just like, here you go, lots more things. So what I'm saying is, with your vision, it's so important that you are really honest with yourself. Which of those three things is holding you or the people in your team back? I'm telling you guys right now, if you've got people in your team that aren't here right now or on this call, 90% chance is one of those three things. Alright? Because it's preoccupying their time. Their addictions, or the negative relationship, or the vision isn't stronger than their addictions. Right? Your vision's got to be stronger than your addictions. Your vision's got to be stronger than the negative people or negative relationship. You got to have that as your priority. Your vision's got to be stronger than your being a victim. It's got to be so strong. You got to want it so bad. You got one shot at the puck in life. One shot. You want to go out with a legacy. You want to achieve your vision, because you got one shot. Make sense? So going back to Travis, what happened was we helped him find out what it was, and he went from 0 to hero practically overnight. Okay? He took on the role of being a leader. He became a visionary, and now he's striving. Now this kid's going out and doing things. I shouldn't even call it. This man is going out and he's doing things, and he's building a team. He's traveling. He took ownership and responsibility because he decided to be accountable for the things and the bull that was holding him back in his life. Make sense? So with every single one of you, before I get into what you do, how you do, all these kinds of things, be real crystal clear on your vision. And you better put it as like, you know, let's just say there's God and then there's vision, okay? You need to be real focused on that. Because if you put in some negative relationship that's not getting you anywhere above, and you're arguing, you're doing all this kind of stuff, and fighting, blah, 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 back and forth, you know what I mean? It's not helping. If your friends are like naysayers and skeptical, and they want to go out and party every night or every weekend, lose them quicker than you can lose anything, okay? You just need to cut them out of your life. Trust me, you'll be absolutely fine. When you cut people who hold you back in your life out of your life, 10 more amazing people come into your life that will bring you forward like a slingshot. And I can pretty much promise you it works like this every single time. I'm sorry guys, there's one person just showed up at my front door. I have to answer him and put everyone on hold. Sorry about this. Hang on. Shane speaking. Stacy, come on up. Okay, my front door's not opening. Okay, is the concierge there? Okay, I'm gonna have to send someone to go get you. Hang on. Duncan, can you grab my keys and just go get Stacy? Sure. Hey, George? No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, stay here. Okay, guys, sorry about that. And again, I really want to be clear. If someone's going to show up here, there's no showing up at quarter after. There's showing up here on time only. Okay?
Doors lock at 5.
I'm pretty much, I think that's, I'm going to apologize actually. Moving forward, if anybody calls my phone to get in after 5 after 7, you're not coming in. Alright? You're either early or you're late. And I accept 7 o'clock, but I prefer 6:55 showing up here. Alright? You gotta respect every single person's time, you gotta respect the training and all that kind of stuff. So that's okay. But moving forward, make sure that anybody who's a part of your team understands that, by the way, success is very dependent on your organization and showing up on time. Okay? When I say I'm going to have a meeting, imagine how it looks to somebody if you're 10 minutes late. You are not professional. Okay? If you go into the business world and you're 10 minutes late, you've lost the job, you've lost the meeting, and no one's doing business with you. Okay? Standard procedure for anything in life. Success is punctual. Success is self-motivated, it's driven by itself, you do it on your own, and you make it happen. And there are rules of success, and 100% you can do. I think it's even in Think and Grow Rich, being punctual, absolutely a crucial thing. So, moving forward guys, that was enough on the vision. I just want to make sure you guys are all super clear on that. The next thing I want to talk about, okay, is setting proper goals for yourself. Now, the guys who are on the phone, I got an awesome team out there. I've met some of you guys. I don't think I've met all of you guys. I've met Leighton. I've met some other people on the phone call as well. You guys, guess what? Here's your first goals. Your first goal is not even really to sell a machine. Your first goal is to plug in. Okay? So when you get people who just bought a machine or you've sold a machine, you want to encourage them to get plugged in. Getting plugged in is very, very important because we're teaching people the things that they need to know here. If you're new to the business, you don't know enough yet to teach the people what to do. And because our team is growing so fast, it's super important that every single person gets the lessons and gets tuned in. And it's just a matter of this. If you want it bad, okay? If you want it bad enough, you'll show up. And why? Because it's 1 hour. Alright, we got 40 minutes left, guys. Lots of time to talk. 1 small hour out of your week to show up and get training. And guess what? How fast that's going to build your team. Travis is selling machines like a bad boy or whatever. I don't know. He's selling machines like a monster now. Jamie's selling machines. Okay. Stefan just sold what, 2 now? Boom. Yeah. Stefan, he showed up. You know what? Stefan played a disappearing act on me. He went MIA for a little while. All of a sudden he starts showing up to the Tuesday trainings and he starts applying what he's learning, and what happens? Sold 2 machines. Right? His team's starting to grow. Right? All the people who are not here, I can promise you their teams aren't growing. Okay? Their teams aren't. Jamie plugs in, Dave plugs in every single Tuesday. Hal just got back into plugging in, and I'm glad to see Hal here, okay? I've got Duncan and Travis, they're always plugging in.
Hi.
And so this is how we roll as a team. Very, very important. So that's your first goal. The second goal, guys, is to write your list, your names list of all of the people that you want to have on your team. Now, every single person who's over 20 years old knows 2,000 people on a name first contact, whether they're on your Facebook or not. There's the people you've met in your life through school or whatever. You'll at least recognize them. But at the very least, even if you're a hermit, okay, living in a non-Facebook cave, okay, they exist. All right, you probably at least know 500 to 1,000 people. Okay, you don't need to contact 500 to 1,000 people, but that's a very important thing, to write your list and get that done. The people who join your team, make sure they write a list of all the people that they want. And then I want you guys to write out your top 10 to 20 people that you'd actually really deeply enjoy working with. Okay, so this is goal number 2. Write your list and the people that you want to actually start working out. These are small goals, right? And then your next little baby step, your next little goal that you're going to set is getting a 3-way phone call or calling somebody and getting them some information, or to get them to watch a video. Either way, the goal number 3 is getting someone their first exposure. Goal number 3 is getting somebody their first exposure. Small goals, right? Now, guess what happens if you don't? You just try again. These are simple goals. Now, people can call them steps of what to do, but I want you to look at each of these as actually accomplishing a goal, okay? And it's moving you in the path towards what you want to accomplish in your vision. Next step after that is, guess what? Follow up and do a 3-way phone call. Follow up and do a 3-way phone call, okay? Now that's really simple. Put in brackets beside that, edify your upline, book a call, or get it going right then and there. Okay? Edify your upline and get a call. And it's so simple to do that. Well, yeah, you're talking to someone about the water. Okay, so well listen, if you want to know more, you know, I can get my friend Shane. He's an elite health coach, lives in Vancouver. He's a health coach, elite trainer, really successful guy. You know, he knows everything about this. I know he's a really busy guy, but I can get him on the phone. I can probably check right now and see if he's available. He can tell you right now, by 5 minutes, he'll blow your mind. Something like that, you guys. And just do it. Guess what happens when you do that in front of somebody? Just do it anyways and get me on the phone. Bada boom. But I am not the first exposure. If you do that, you shot yourself in the foot. That's awkward and weird. Don't waste my time. It's precious and very, very valuable now. Alright? I don't want anybody calling me up and saying, hey Shane, I just met Sally, and Sally kind of was interested in water, so I told her, no. If she hasn't seen the video, don't call me. Alright? I'm not the first exposure. Don't waste my time. You have to qualify someone to get to my time. If they see the video and then they're not interested, then that's great. But I don't want to be the guy who has to tell them all about the water and, oh, by the way, yeah, we do this Japanese ionized water from Japan. Don't make me do that. I'll kill you.
What would you say is the best video to show someone for
the best video for first exposure? You send person to www. Write this down. tinyurl.com/GPM videos, and you get them to watch the first 2 videos. www.tinyurl.com/GPM GPM videos. Alright? Now, how do you get them to watch the video? If I would you. Listen, if I send you a video, would you watch it? I want you to watch the first 2 videos on this link. If I would you. Alright? If I send you a video, would you watch the videos? There's 2 videos on this. There's 5, but I want you to watch the first 2. And then what we'll do is we'll talk after. When can you watch it? So remember, if I, will you, and then the next thing is, when can you watch it by? Okay? So now you're getting a date. You're saying, listen, if they say, I'm going to watch it in a week, what? What kind of bonehead says that? I'm going to watch it in a week? What? Wow, I didn't know that you were so preciously busy. You don't have 20 minutes to watch a video. Of course, you would never say that to the person. Okay? But like that right there is telling you their level of interest at this moment is 1 out of 10. Which means they're not interested at all. They're blowing you off. Okay? So rather than doing that, if you get into, and I like to play hard scenarios because most people don't do that. Okay? Most people, if you've spent enough time building rapport with a person, if they like you, they're not going to blow you off like that. But if you fail to build rapport, and this is why I like to talk about the hardest case scenario because I've had every objection under the sun, and this is usually the one that kind of I don't like getting. I'll watch it next week. I got time. Okay, what do you say to that? Go back to talking to the person. Build rapport again. You're out of rapport. If they don't think you or your video, your precious little 2 videos, is worth their time, and they're going to get to it next week, say, listen, you know what? I respect that you're a busy person. I'm a busy person too. Okay? But we both know that you're not going to watch it in a week. So why don't you tell me this? Listen, I promise you won't waste your time. Try to get it done by Thursday. I'm a busy guy, but if we can follow up on Friday, I'll really appreciate that. If not, then that's totally great. We'll try to follow up in a week. So now you made them feel like a douchebag. Okay? Because you're just like, you just basically said, I don't even care if you join my team or not. If you actually tried to follow up with them, then you know what? In their head, there's this little ego game going on, and guess what? They're just like, I don't have to watch this thing, and then they're just going to get this impression of you that whatever. But you have to be professional. You don't want to be a dink. Yeah, you don't want to be rude, but you just want to put it off like, well, listen, I'm a busy guy. You're a busy guy. Like you got to state it like your time is more valuable than theirs. Okay, 100%. If someone thinks that your time is more valuable than theirs, they're going to do what you tell them to do faster. Okay? It's just the way it is. And if you guys don't like it, you know what? You do what your boss tells you to do. He makes more money than you. Okay? So, it is what it is. Alright? You respect when people's time is more valuable than your own, and you will respect it. So you need to put that tonality out there that your time is valuable, okay? And that you're doing them a service. You need to have that thought process. You could be talking to a lawyer. It doesn't matter. Listen, I'm a busy guy. I know that you're a busy guy as well, but you're not going to watch the thing in a week. But, you know, based on, I'm super busy. If you can watch it by Thursday, I got time to talk to you on Friday. Okay, 7 p.m. And you're just saying how it is. And then you know what? If they didn't watch it, then send them a text later. Say, hey, like, set it in your phone, and then you'll follow up. So that's how you get to play with someone's playing hardball with you. Play hardball back, you know, and let them know that your time is more valuable than theirs. Simple. But don't tell them, listen, my time's more valuable than yours. Listen, I'm a busy guy. I know you're a busy guy. I don't have time to follow up in a week, whatever. I'll give it my best. But if you can watch it by Friday, it's great. I'd love to chat with you then. I'm sure you can find 25 minutes. That's what all it is, right? 26, 27 minutes. It's a short little 2 videos, right? And if they're interested, so going backwards a few steps, let's how to not let that happen. Okay, so I just run the bad movie for you guys. Let's run the good movie. All right, good movie is this. Don't let that happen. And how? Build rapport with the person. How do you do that? Ask genuine questions about the person. Ask about that person. You know, and when someone says something to you, make sure you are letting them know that you hear what they're saying by paraphrasing back to them in a different in a different way, letting them know that you heard what they're saying. So if they're talking about something that's going on or what about their job, you say, well, that sounds really great. I mean, you must be, you know, the top of your charts at work. I mean, it sounds like you're one of the top performers there. I mean, a guy like you would be, you know, a total shoo-in for something like this, or this is just so natural for you, something like that, right? So compliment the person, but don't flatter the person. Just compliment means actually listen to what they said and say something positive towards the person to make them feel that you're acknowledging who they are and that you're kind of giving them a little bit of praise. Make sense? So that's building rapport, okay? The other thing is when you first start talking to somebody, you want to, it's called matching and pacing. I know a lot of guys have heard about this. But if somebody talks slow, don't talk fast. If somebody talks fast, don't talk slow. Right? If somebody talks loud, talk loud. If somebody talks quiet, talk quiet. Okay? Because you're right now, you might be new to this, you might have been around for a little while. I know Dave and Jamie know a lot about this kind of stuff, and it's, you don't want to be on a different wavelength from the person that you're talking to. Okay? So let me give you guys an example. Okay? I've got drums here. I've got guitars here, and the really nice thing about music, I don't know, not everybody's a musician, but I'm going to give you guys this, a little metaphor, if you would, okay, on how music is a lot like communication, and music is communication. Now, if you have not jammed with anybody before, you're missing out on life. It's amazing. Okay? Now, if you grab a drum, and I grab a drum, and you're beating a different beat than I'm beating, we're not syncing and it's not vibing. But I'm sure you guys have all listened to music. Okay, the best and greatest songs came from people who really communicated well, and they found a wavelength of communication within music. Okay, so maybe the guitar player had a riff, and some guy started beating his head, and he was like, yeah, it sounds really good. And then the bass player picks up something, he just makes a little bass riff to it, you know? And then the drummer, he gets beat, and he's like, yeah, I like that too. Starts, you know, pounding the beat on that, right? And what happens is these guys are syncing their vibrations. Their frequencies are starting to sync, okay? And now, all of a sudden, you're on the up and up, and then they make a cool jam, and it just starts to flow. This is music, guys. Now, have you ever had a conversation with somebody that really took off? I'm sure you have. Like, you know those awesome, you know, once moment, you know, those total in-the-moment conversations where, you know, there's no insecurities, there's no fear, there's just everything. You're almost in a state of love, and you're just talking to this person, and you're having the best conversation ever, and you're just like flying along, you know? And it's like it just builds up, and you guys are all just, you're like, yeah, yeah, woo! You know, you're on the vibe. Has anybody not had a conversation like that? Everybody has, right? Fair to say, yeah? Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping you haven't. If you haven't, oops. You know, don't worry, it'll come to you one day. I hope. Okay, if not, then you need to pay attention to what I'm talking about here. Okay, so what happened there? Well, let's break it down. You had a jam. You had a jam. You guys started off, maybe you were strangers, maybe you were already friends, maybe you were acquaintances, but then you just struck a frequency where you were both, maybe you didn't even realize that you were subconsciously mirroring each other. And now you're acting like each other. And then you're behaving like just like each other, and you're bouncing each other off, but the conversation is escalating in a positive way. Okay? So how do you replicate that same sort of synchronicity and that same sort of vibration and communication and positive escalation all the time? You got to understand how it's structured. When that magic moment of communication happens, there's structure there. And there is. And you can have that amazing moment all the time. Are you more likely to buy something from somebody that's on a different wavelength than you? Or are you more likely to buy something from somebody and trust someone who is really on the same frequency as you? Right? Obviously, you're going to buy from the person that you trust more. Right? So, here's the structure, guys. You start matching and pacing, which means, you know, if for example, if someone's talking a little bit slower like this, you start off talking a little bit slower. And if they are moving side to side a little bit, you kind of move side to side a little bit. Okay? If they're moving their hands, you move your hands in the same way. You're not trying to totally copycat them. You're not trying to insult. You're not trying to, like, you know, mock them, or you're harmonizing with them. Okay? And what happens is they don't really. You should be able to do this unconsciously. okay? But the reason you don't have it happening all the time is because you're not conscious that you're incompetent in doing it, right? And those times that it's happened, it just happened to flow, but you can have it more and more often. But first, be consciously incompetent of it. And what that means is just being aware that you're not in sync with this person yet, right? So how do you get there? You can have that amazing connection with every single human being on this planet, okay? And so match and pace, mirror that person, okay? And then you just start syncing. And what happens is then you can start leading that person by maybe if they're talking a little slower, start talking a little bit faster, right? And what happens is if they talk really loud, then you start talking really loud too, and they're going to be like, yeah, something about this guy, I really like this guy. Does that make sense to you guys? So then all of a sudden you're building more rapport, and they're feeling this fellowship with you that they really enjoy. And you're enjoying it too, because now you guys are going somewhere. Whereas before you were trying, but now this person's liking who you are. And they're feeling who you are. And you're feeling who they are, because you guys are on the same vibe. Okay? So now, this isn't something where you should be awkward and try to actually, like, you know, like actually, you know, totally copycat the person. I'm just saying, you know, like you find something natural, and you know, you don't have to be 100%, but you just find a way to sync with the person, right? And then you have an engaging conversation, and all of a sudden things like, so that's how you guys are going to build rapport with people, build the trust with people, and then you also have to follow up with the people, right? So when you're talking to people, you know, if you're focusing on that matching and pacing and leading, what happens is you get them to your vibration, your frequency, you take them where you want, and then you're leading them down the channel of creating a lot of interest and being excited about what you're doing. Okay? Now, the other thing is, by the way, I just want to go back over just a quick review of everything. So we started off, we talked about vision. Dave took some notes. What did you write down, David?
Vision here. So this is something big. This is something like you're getting into the lifestyle that you live, the people that you're going to spend your time with, the legacy you're going to leave behind, places that you're going to go, accomplishments you're going to achieve through your life, and number of people you want to impact in your life.
Good. Outstanding. And then we talked about the three things, as I always do, about that can hold us back from accomplishing our vision. And then we talked about some goals, okay? And now we're just talking about sort of the meat and potatoes of actually building rapport so you can have a better ratio of closing. So this was actually part of a goal, which was, what was the goal we had there?
Getting plugged in.
Getting plugged in. Next goal?
Writing out your list.
Writing out your list. What's the next one?
Getting someone their first exposure.
Getting someone their first exposure.
GPM videos.
GPM videos, right?
And then follow up and do a three-way call.
Follow up, 3 phone calls. So the first exposure is also building rapport. So this goes back into that goal and the next one. Okay? So I hope that this has given you guys something useful to think about and start practicing. Now, the other thing I want you guys to start paying attention to is exactly the way that I'm speaking. Okay? Because exactly the way that I'm speaking to you guys is the way that I speak. And I didn't start speaking normally like this until I realized, started listening to Jordan Belfort, started listening to great speakers like Alex Arnold and other great trainers, and I started realizing that there's actually a way that they enunciate and punctuate and emphasize their words. There's a way that they pause on things. There's ways that they elevate their tonality. There's ways that they diminish their tonality. There's ways that they captivate the audience with the way that they speak. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm great. I'm definitely not like a Jordan Belfort. But if you can even do what they do a little bit, it's more than good enough. Okay? If you can do what those guys and the great speakers, like I'm telling you guys right now, what they say is content. How they say it is structure. You can put any content in the structure that you want. Okay? But it's the structure that defines the content. Alright? If you think about that, and I learned that from a guy who makes like $100,000 a day. He's an angel investor, and he's started up multi-million dollar. I'm talking like he'll build a company in 1 or 2 years that starts pumping out like $3-4 million a month, He sells it for $300 or $400 million, takes a 2-year break and does it all over again. He's done it like 5 times. You know? So that's what he sat down and that's what he taught me. He said, Shane, that's all you need to know. If you understand that, the world is your oyster. Okay? So if you guys understand that, the world is your oyster. And I'm telling you right now, as soon as I realized that and started practicing it and identifying structures, then I could change the content to whatever I want. But it always works. Because the structure is in place. You know what I mean? So, communication is very structured to do it effectively. How people speak is very structured if you're doing it effectively. Okay? And you guys might notice there's great speakers who can speak for a long, long time, and everybody's captivated by that person. They're willing and they're ready, and they'll listen. They'll just keep being open and receptive. It's because that person is speaking in a way that makes it easy to hear and understand. And they check in a lot, right? So if you're checking in a lot when you're communicating with people, every single time you're doing a presentation with one person, you're showing them the information. Be an artist with your mouth. The way that you're speaking should sound beautiful. Think about that, right? It's another way for you to be very creative, right? Don't sound like you're just trying to be a big salesman and you're really emphasizing the words. I mean, you're not. It's not Shakespeare, okay? It's not like, you know, grand opera, drama, showcase theater. You know what I mean? Like, just chill out on it, but like, just play with your tonality a little bit and make sure that you're speaking in a flavorful way that, you know, entertains the ear. You know what I mean? Because people want to hear something, and that's going to get them to be more interested in you. Okay? Now, the other thing, when you follow up, a little hint for you guys, is have a sense of urgency. Okay? So when you're following up, great follow-up. Hey, Scott, how's it going? It's Shane. Great. Listen, I don't have a whole lot of time right now. I got to go. But I was just thinking about you, and I want to know what you like. Have you had a chance to watch the videos yet? You know, what you like best about them? You know, I was really excited to share that with you and you know, share that information with you on Thursday. Okay, oh great. Okay, cool. Well, listen, you know, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time to chat right now, but I'd love to book another meeting with you and talk. In fact, if you can, I can get a 3-way phone call go with Shane. He's like a elite health coach. He's one of the top guys out here. Really successful guy, super knowledgeable. He's a character, that guy. He's just a nutball, but I want to get him on the phone. You don't say that, but you know, I want to get him on the phone with you. And I know he's a really busy guy, but he's, you know, like I said, I'm pretty sure I can get him on the horn with you, something like that. And the guy's gonna say, well, you know, that sounds right. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe we can schedule it in for 5:30 on Thursday. Yeah, okay, works, perfect. Well, you got your daughter. You're picking up your daughter. Okay, well, what can you do it at 7:30, or maybe I've got an opening at 5 o'clock on Friday. Right? Give them options, but don't let them get out, you know. And then you're just gonna follow up again, and then you're just following up. But have the sense of urgency. You're busy. I'm busy, but you can get my time. Edify. That kind of stuff works, right? Travis, you know, he's done that. I think you've done that. You know, how did you? I'm gonna ask Stefan a question here. Come over here, Stefan. Without the camera and stuff. How did you edify me and get people on the phone with me?
I just basically told people that I know this health coach, personal trainer in Vancouver that he's won like bodybuilding contests and stuff like that, and also he's really successful, you know, in business. And I don't know actually.
You just did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what?
That's basically all
hey guys,
I'm gonna say.
All I'm going to say is he did it. It worked.
Yeah. It works.
If you can do it even just a little bit, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't think that you have to do something, you know? Most people, if you built the rapport, they're going to do this. And I'm telling you guys 100%. Like, if you're talking to people and you're getting resistance, you didn't build rapport enough. Right? They don't like you. They probably think the product's nice, they don't like you enough to actually want your time. You're irritating them. So you did something wrong. And it's okay. I used to irritate everybody. Like, I'm telling you right now, I can talk to 10 people now and I'll close like 8. But when I started, I would talk to 20 or 30 people and I closed 1. You know what I mean? And I irritated people, and it's just the way it goes, but you will get better. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Now, that was, we got 15 minutes left. Okay? So just to recap, we talked about your vision, we talked about setting goals, we talked about you have to take a seriously strong look in your life. At the beginning, we talked about vision. Very, very important to identify if there's one of the 3 little loopholes, or maybe more, that are holding you back. And those would be either addictions, negative people or negative relationships, or being a victim of circumstance. Okay, so those things are going to hold you back from achieving your vision. And the next thing is, we talked about setting goals, small goals. First goal, second goal, third goal, fourth goal. And I gave you guys some little tips on what you can actually do and how you can start talking to people to actually get them more interested in talking to me and to be more interested in the water. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to cover over the next little bit is the script. I still use it, guys, and guess what? Still works. The script is awesome. Okay? And if you guys on the phone, you don't have this script, you need to get this script. Because when you can say it how I say it, it works. If somebody doesn't understand about the water, okay, let me explain how this water works. Because, and just going back, a lot of people have doubts, a lot of people have skepticism, a lot of people have these things. I'm about to give you bulletproof ammunition. I mean, what's the word? No, bulletproof armor. No, I'm giving you armor-piercing ammunition, okay? And it's indestructible, okay? Nobody can take this apart. No scientist, no doctor, no nothing, because it's the truth. It's exactly how it works. And I break it down to people in a way that every single person can understand it, whether they're extremely brainiac or whether they don't know much. Okay? It's very, very simple the way that you explain it. Someone says, well, so what is it? You say, listen, I always go like this. I put my hands out like going across from the right side of my chest to the left side of my chest with my left hand. And like, listen, super easy. Okay? Now, right now, I'm sounding like a reasonable man. Starting off that way, when I simply say that, it's really simple. Okay? My posture, my tonality is gauged. I know what I'm doing right now. I'm speaking with intent. Okay? I'm not just doing an off-the-cuff little thing. I'm deliberately planting the seeds into their brain of knowledge. And it's going directly past their intellect to the yes, no, right, wrong section of the brain. Okay? No reasonable or intelligent person can actually argue with the way that I explain this water. Because if they did, then you take them back to the way that I explained the water, and then they have to reason it out, because you can't argue with absolute fact. Okay, so it's simple, guys. So first of all, it's a certified medical device, and it's used in hospitals in Japan. It's been used in hospitals for over 40 years. What it does is it filters the water, and it takes out all the chlorine, the chemicals, the heavy metals, and all the impurities, right? See that? I just said, right? I just got a confirmation of them. I just got an agreement. When I'm saying this pitch, I ask right or makes sense a lot. Because I want their head nodding like a bubblehead. Okay? And it's very important to get as many rights as you can out of this. So, it's really, really simple. First of all, it's a certified medical device that's been used in hospitals in Japan for over 40 years. What it does is it takes the water and it actually filters all the chemicals, the chlorine, the heavy metals, and all the impurities, but then it electrically charges the water. Now, when you do that, it separates the molecule, and you get hydrogen and oxygen, right? Now, obviously, you know, the hydrogen, it's actually H2. It's like the most powerful antioxidant we've ever discovered. And we know oxygen's good, okay? And now, I want you to think about the water in your tap and in your bottles. And I'm looking at the persons, right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking directly in their eyes at this point. I've got my head tilted, I've got my eyebrows up, I'm looking very sincere. Now, I want you to think about the water in your tap and in your bottles. The molecules aren't perfectly organized or separated. They're going to clump together in these big, unorganized clusters. And I'm waving my hands around, guys, on the phone. You can't see it, but you know, I'm making the shape of a big cluster. So my hands are about a foot and a half apart. I'm just kind of helping the person visualize a big cluster of molecules. Okay, by just moving my hands around. You know what I mean? Don't make, you know, too many movements, but your hands just have to move slightly. Okay. Now, water, I'm telling the person, now the water in your bottled water in your tap, the molecules aren't perfectly organized or separated. They're going to be clustered together in these big unorganized clusters. But now that you charged it up, and you got this oxygen and this hydrogen out of it, obviously the remaining H2O molecules will be clustered together in a really, really small cluster of H2O molecules, right? And it's surrounded by the hydrogen and oxygen. And there's also antioxidants in there, and electrons and electrolytes. It's nuts. So now those smaller clusters absorb almost instantly into your cells. It's delivering all that stuff. It's crazy. You gotta try this. This stuff has been used by top athletes and top trainers. I mean, you drink the stuff and it's literally, it's out of your stomach in like minutes. You don't even feel it. It doesn't slosh around. It goes straight into your cells. It makes sense, right? Yeah. So you can do it 100 different ways as long as you get the general gist of what it is, right? They're going to be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes people say, well, listen, what is it? And I say, well, listen, it's electricity and water. Okay, it's water loaded with antioxidants, hydrogen, oxygen, electrolytes, electrons, and it's restructured so it absorbs almost instantly into your cells. That's another script you guys can use. Okay, rather than breaking the whole process down, so the script 1 I gave you was it's a certified medical device used in hospitals in Japan for over 40 years. It filters the water, takes out the chemicals, the chlorine, the heavy metals, and all the impurities. Then it electrically charges the water. When you do that, it separates the molecule, creates hydrogen and oxygen, antioxidants, and then the remaining H2O molecules will be clustered in a really small cluster. You guys don't have to do that much. Depends on the person. Feel it out. Right? If they say, how does the machine work? Give them that one. They ask what the water is, just say, listen, it's electrically charged water. It's loaded with hydrogen, oxygen, electrons, antioxidants, and it's microclustered and reorganized so it absorbs instantly into your cells and it delivers all that stuff. I mean, how would you not want that stuff? Right? Cool. Powerful. It works. It's putting checks in my bank. So it'll put checks in yours. Right? So I gave you guys 2. So one is a bigger version. The other one's just off the cuff. You know, it just breaks it down. And you gotta be excited and enthusiastic about this because they're gonna be like, wow, like this person's like super objective about water. Like, what's wrong with this person? But then they get the water and they taste it and they realize you need to reinforce their education and their understanding of what this water and what this product is. Because there are people out there who are drinking this water that got a machine because some guy sold them the machine and they don't even know what it's doing for them. And then they're online Googling and they think that they bought an overpriced machine. Because they don't know. They don't know what it's doing. Right? They think they're drinking alkaline water. It's not alkaline water. Okay? It's alkalized water. It's electrically charged, electrically elevated pH. It's not minerally raised. We didn't add minerals to the water to make it high pH. Right? Otherwise, you wouldn't even need to turn the power on. You get alkaline water, but you don't. Right? Filter doesn't put stuff in the water. Other machines do because they're cheap. And they have to do snake oil, little techniques and practices like, you know, adding a whole bunch of calcium and tourmaline and all these different things so they can get a really, really high 9.5. Right? We got a whole bunch of minerals in there, but guess what? It doesn't do the same. It doesn't do it when you need your. It doesn't do what your body needs it to do. It's just mineralized water. This is alkalized, electrically charged, you know, water. It's a totally different ballgame. It doesn't do the same thing inside of your body in any way, shape, or form. That's why this is the only one in the world that's actually a certified medical device in Japan. And there's no other machine that's a certified medical device. Period. None. So you don't have competition, guys. No doctors are going to touch ion waves or some other product or some other company. It's not a certified medical device. There's a reason for it. It has to have the most amount of surface area, the most amount of electricity, right? It has to actually get that H2. This one gets it. You guys understand? So I want to reinforce your understanding, but when you do that, and you help the person understand what this machine and the value of it is, they're way closer to buying, right? If you've been able to give them that little script and you get them on the phone with me, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say the same script over, okay? And then I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 where they're at. If they want to buy a machine, where they're at. If they're a 1, they don't want to talk to me ever again. They don't drink water. They think I'm an idiot. 10, they want to get a machine. They're ready to move forward because they realize that $100 a month is worth it to have an unlimited global business where you have unlimited access to coaches and teachers and trainers and a lifetime of mentorship, of people who are going to help you, hold you by the hand, build your business, whether it takes you 3 months or 15 years, they're there. Okay, for $100 a month for 5 years. Explain that to the person. They're usually going to say 8, 9, 10, or 11. I've had 2 11s. I've had some 10s. I've had a couple 8s that became 10s. Okay? I had one lady, she said 5. I don't know. Big whoop, it happens. You know what I mean? Next. 7 billion people on the planet. 7 billion people need water. I'm sure at least 2 billion can afford the machine. And then what happens is when those 2 billion afford the machine, we can help the other 7 billion or 5 billion. You know what I mean? So you guys have an amazing opportunity. You have a great product. I want you to be in tune with your vision. And it's really important, guys, listen, to start plugging in. And like when you get up, start thinking and plan your day out of how you're going to achieve your goals, what you're going to do. And realize that right now, you know, you're still developing baby muscles, right? But if you keep trying and keep talking to people and keep prospecting, you're going to get better, you're going to get stronger. You keep plugging in, you're going to hear how I talk, you're going to hear other leaders like Balaj, how he talks, and the things that we do and the things that we say that get us results. And you're going to pick that up because you become like the people you surround yourself with, and that's why it's so important to plug in. Because if you're not plugging into the team of people who are positive, helpful, insightful, mentoring you and coaching you, then you're surrounded by the people you've been surrounded with who haven't got you where you want to be in life. Fair enough? Again, it's either addictions, negative people or bad relationships in your life, or you're being a victim of circumstance. There's no excuses for any of them. Not if you want what you want bad enough. Right? So your vision has to be stronger and higher than all of that. Okay? You need to imagine that you're a ship going from New York to London, Europe, and nothing's going to take you off course. There's going to be storms, there's going to be tempests, but you keep sailing along, you bear with the storms, you realize that there's peaks and valleys in everybody's business. I don't always have amazing months, but I usually do. Okay? When I first started, there weren't always amazing months. I had a great month, I had a bad month. I had a good month, I had 2 bad months. I had a good month, bad month. You know what I mean? But when you have enough established people in your team and underneath of you, then your team takes off. So you got to commit yourself to at least at least 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, it took me 14 months to make a 6-figure a year income. I wasn't doing anything else outside of that. Personal training ain't going to pay me that much, I'll tell you that much, you know what I mean? Not happening unless I work all day long every day. Now to do this full time is amazing, because guess what? It doesn't mean I'm doing this 9 to 5, it's just this is the only thing that I do. I still do train people here and there. Just because I like to do it, and I always said I was going to do it, but I've designed my lifestyle because I stayed committed to this. So I'm not different than you guys. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just a little further ahead, and I've got more commitment than most people. Okay? And I give you guys kudos because it does take balls to actually want to progress in the summer. There's so many millions of things you could be doing. You know what I mean? But you do what you want to do all summer long, that's great. Go party all the time. Slack off. Do what you want to do. Next year you'll be in the same place. I'll pat you on the back and I'll give you a soother in my fucking Lamborghini.
Yeah.
maybe I'll be nice and take you for a spin.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Hey guys, bust your balls, work. Guess what it's gonna do? Pay for your future. It's called pay now so you can play later. And you're gonna have a lot of fun paying right now too. Okay? It's not hard work. You just gotta do it. Alright? If you're not doing it, don't expect to get paid. And if it doesn't work out for you, if you're one of those people who's, it's not for me. Oh yeah? Where were you during the meetings? Where were you on the phone calls? You couldn't 2 hours of self-development in a week to become a better person? So you become the same person. Great, so it wasn't for you. You're right, it wasn't for you. It was for everybody else who decided that they wanted to have a better life. Right? Period. End of story. That's the training, guys. Get resolved. Get focused. Get determined. Have your vision. Super important. I've given you guys actual steps you can take, ways you can speak, and things you got to do. Alright, so I hope to see everybody and hear everybody next week. at 7 p.m. sharp every Tuesday. Don't be late. Alright? Here on time, and I want you guys to invite guests. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people were here, okay, at my place. I've got about a dozen or so on the phone. I want this number doubled next week. Alright guys? 1 week, I'm going to bring out better content every single time. Today's getting your feet wet, get some started, get you guys clear on your vision, okay? But we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things here. Sometimes I'm going to get really specific into actually looking at your life. I might even talk to a few people who might be willing to volunteer and actually open up where maybe a negative relationship or some sort of something is going on in your life that's holding you back if you're not progressing. Because I can promise you, if you aren't moving forward, leaps and bounds in life, it's one of those 3. Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. This is one of those 3, baby. All right. So we can get real, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for hopping on the call, everybody, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Big 3 baddies.
Can you tell?
Good. Awesome, guys.
Good one, dude.
Yeah.
Look how it sounds with the
Now, like the vision thing, I'm always going to talk about that, and the reason being is because there's always going to be new people, and you know what? What gets said once in a while gets heard, but what gets said all the time gets done.
Big time.
Okay?
Repetition is the mother of skill.
Yeah.